What's up, guys? So we're back in the garage today. We're doing a quick little rundown of what we're going to be doing today. I've kind of adjusted the way I'm going to be recording from here on out. I'm also kind of changing some of the aspects I've learned from people and some of the comments and suggestive critiques to my recording style and what we can do and stuff. So I'm going to break it down for you very simple. We're basically just going to be doing coolant reservoir, coolant lines, and a few other small preventative maintenance items on the car itself. So yeah, with all that said, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and jump into this. I'll get my tools prepped, get all my stuff ready, and then yeah, we'll get right to it. Alright, so I've got most of my tools prepped, or at least what I believe I'm going to need, so I'm probably going to do a few quick little jump arounds in order to get everything I completely need. But anyways, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to break it down very simple, very easy. I don't have all the tools nor equipment for this job, so it's going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be kind of fun to do. First tool that I do not have is a way to extract the coolant from the reservoir. But ingenious here, I do have a electric, I guess, weed eater bottle pump, which I think I'm going to try to use that first. So we'll see if that works or not. Be kind of interesting. I'm going to try to finesse my way around things and make tools and do everything the complete wrong way. If you actually were to do something like this, I recommend you do buy a fluid extractor. I went to like Lowe's, Home Depot, everywhere around me, couldn't find a single one, and I don't have time to wait for for the tool to come in through Amazon or anywhere else. I want to get into it, so I'm just going to make a mess and clean up after myself as I go. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so this is what we got for now. It's literally it's a fluid pump from a weed killer bag, or box, or whatever you call it. But first, I'm going to go ahead and take off the color water cap here. I'll show you why. I have all the parts for this on order. They should be here by Wednesday. But yeah, this guy clearly seen better days. He's a little rough trick. I'm actually going to chew something really quick just to, yeah. There we go, that looks a little bit better now actually. Only issue is the garage. I'm probably going to close it about halfway just to lower the lighting in the video. But yeah, color water cap. She's original to the car as far as I'm aware, just because of the writing on it. It says everything's in German. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and replace this in the coming days. Like I said, the parts are on order. But like I said before in the previous video, any part that comes off this car that I deem is original or is basically came with the car that I can almost make a guarantee that it's original, I'm going to keep. So it stays with the car. So yeah, we'll go ahead and put this on the shelf back there with the rest of the parts, and we'll go from there. Alright, next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and just stick this little hose line in there. And I do have a tip tray, catch pan down here, see if this even works. Definitely seems to be working, so not the most efficient way to do this by any means, but I'm really just trying to get the fluid out of the reservoir, not out of the whole car, because I'm not really doing any work other than this and some of the lines. So this is going to be majorly just a reservoir holding the liquid. I don't know if you guys can even hear me over this thing. This thing's pretty loud. It makes kind of a racket. It is working though, as far as I can tell. But yeah, previous owner before me did some work on the car, but I don't think he really did a coolant flush. I had to do a coolant flush when I first got the car. There was just straight water in here. So I'm not really too worried about coolant levels and contamination like that. It smelled terrible, by the way. Don't ever run pure water in a car. It just doesn't do the car any good. I understand, being in Florida, it never freezes down here. It never gets cold enough to freeze, but still, don't run just straight water. If anything, run a 75-25 mix. But that's a video for a different day. But yeah, this seems to be working pretty well. So I'll go ahead and just take a break here and let you guys see in the editing. Alright guys, so that trick worked with the weed eater killer little fluid pump thing that I got out of the can over there. So that worked. That little trick worked. If you don't have a fluid transfer pump, I guess that'll work too. If you have one of those little electric motor pumps in one of those cans, it'll work. But I got most of the water out of the reservoir here. So we're gonna end up taking apart the air filter box, taking it out, and we're gonna take out reservoir, the line that goes with it, because the line that goes from the reservoir goes under the air filter box. So we're gonna end up taking that out as well, which will disconnect that from the MAP sensor, and then we'll go from there and see how everything looks. But yeah, that worked. I'm actually kind of surprised that worked. But yeah, so let's get into that, and I'll get you guys set up over there so you guys can get a better look at what I'm doing, and see if you guys can, see really what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so in terms of positioning for you guys, this is as good as it's going to get. I realized that the really bright light above me, it looks like I'm going to have a halo on, but I need a light to be able to see what I'm actually doing, and this is the best I got for you guys. Until I can get you guys on like a stand or something looking down into the engine bay, this is the best I got for you guys. Hopefully in the future though, we'll get that sorted out and we'll get that fixed. But yeah, for now, this is just what we're going to do. You guys are going to be over there, and I'm going to be over here. I'm going to thoroughly walk through what I'm doing, thoroughly explain what I'm doing. I'll show you the parts as well. I'll walk over to you guys once we keep going. But yeah, the first step we're going to do is go ahead and remove the air filter box, the top for it. So we're going to need to get our Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to need to get a little pry tool to get in there and push down on the really old pins that hold the box to the tubing. So we're going to get that done as well. But yeah, so let's go ahead and grab this guy, our little needle nose pliers, so we can push down on that little top. We'll go from there. Let me find my Phillips head screwdriver, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright guys, I'm back. So, found a screwdriver. I couldn't find my snap-on ratcheting screwdriver, so this will have to do. Thankfully this one's just a little Klein tool, so it should be pretty easy. We'll just go ahead and take all these little Phillips screws out that hold the air filter top to the bottom of the air filter. There should be one in the rear. This one's only held in by 3 Phillips screws. So you have 2 in the front and then this one right here, and they're really far back. This one's going to be enhanced just because I don't have a long enough screwdriver. Don't know if because I replaced the air filter when I bought this car, so I don't know if I'm the one who put it in that tight or if I just wasn't paying attention when I did it. Yeah, so that's done there. Next, we're going to have to take off the vacuum lines that go to it. So we're going to need a flathead. We'll start undoing this clamp here. So let's get it loose. You don't want to ever undo them completely, especially on these older cars. They sometimes don't go back once you undo the entire clip. But we're just going to slide it down on the tube, pull the tube off like so. This is going to be the hard part here. So this car, this tube that goes down into the front fender here is where the air comes in and goes into the air filter and then goes into the intake. The problem is this car is so old that the little button that you depress to get this to disconnect has been worn down over the years. So, if I remember correctly, the last time I did this, oh, I lied to you guys, hold on. I lied, I'm sorry. There's actually one more Phillips screw on the box that I just saw and didn't see before, but there's this one over here I forgot about. We'll go ahead and undo this one. I don't believe there's one on this side. I hope not. Otherwise, this is going to get real tricky real quick. So that's unscrewed. Let's see what happens if I just try to get her a little upseat. Yep, there is one. Look at me. Still learning things about this car. Let's see. I don't want to really give it too much leverage to be able to get to it. Hoping. Well, slipped off the screen. Because I don't want to break anything else in the car. And of course, oh, I got it. And of course, Porsche had to put one buried underneath the coolant reservoir to the point where you can barely get a screwdriver in here. I don't think my snap-on one would actually fit in this little tank gap that I've created. I think it's loose. Yep, there we go. So, what I'm going to do is the same thing I did before when I placed the air filter last. I'm just going to pull this entire assembly out and I'll show it to you guys. Literally, it's held in by that. So I'll walk over and show you guys this. So, this is original for the car. This goes into the fender well. Here, air comes up through here and into the air filter box. So yeah, here's that for you. We're just going to remove this, set it off to the side. It's going to go back in. Not really concerned about it because it's not damaged and it's in pretty good shape for the age that it is. So we're just going to set it off to the side over here, like so. Just going to set it down there, keep it organized. Air filter is going to come out. Still decent. It's got some sand in it, of course, from Florida. But when you look at them, you just want to look down in the actual side where the air gets filtered, and you just want to look at your filter's condition. Apparently, when I installed this, I'll show you my mistake. Apparently, I pinched a corner of the filter. So, I don't understand what's going on here. But yeah, apparently I pinched a filter, the filter's one of the flaps. It's fine. It's just on the outer edge, not really damaged or anything to be concerned about. So yeah, we're gonna keep this guy. We're gonna reuse him because he's only got like 500 miles on it. So we're gonna reuse this one. So we'll set this guy over here with the other stuff as well. Now we got that out of the way, we can go ahead and see one of our coolant lines that goes to the reservoir, which is the one coolant line we'll be taking off. This one won't be getting replaced. Just because it's not brittle and it's not in any bad condition. So we're just going to go ahead and switch out for a flathead here. We'll just go ahead and undo this. Now when you do this, no matter how good you pump this car out, of all of what you believe, okay, I'm not going to use a Phillips flathead because it's like I'm about to snap the flathead doing that. So get a socket. Put this away. Brought my socket rail over here, my little 1/4 inch. So let's see, it's probably an 8 mil, more than likely. So let's see if I can find my 8 mil. Should have been probably more prepared. There it is. It is not an 8 mil. It's smaller than that. Right. Let's see. This one. Man, my hands are slick. Coolant. Another piece of advice I can give is when you're working with coolant, don't touch the vehicle. Don't touch the paint, especially. Me, I'm not so worried about it just because the paint is so badly damaged and ruined. But on a car like nowadays, if you are going to do any work on a modern car, avoid putting coolant on your hands and then rubbing it on the car or touching the car by accident. Same thing with brake fluid. Brake fluid will eat paint really badly. So don't get brake fluid anywhere you don't want people to notice that your paint's coming off. Apparently, I do not have the right socket on this rail for this. So the 5.5 is too small, and that's a 1/4. I don't know why a 1/4 is on my metric socket rail. So, let me find the right socket. Alright, I'm back. So, 7 mil is the right size for this. Tiny little guy here. Just gonna go ahead and attempt to sink him on. There we go. Loosen him up. Just so I can get to use the flathead on this portion. I don't want to use that massive wrench or ratchet because I, for some reason, seem to have misplaced my 7 mil for my 1/4. Find that. But yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and loosen this up now that I've got it broken loose. It's very rusty, this little clamp here. keep loosening. This video is going to be kind of long, guys, so I don't expect everybody to watch this video or watch it all the way through. If you do, thank you, but I don't expect you to. I expect you probably to fast forward through some of these parts like this. I'll probably end up just editing a lot of this out or fast forwarding through it, testing out my newfound editing skills. Apparently it is really jammed up. Keep doing this. Keep going. Alright, so I've got it loosened up, that clamp loosened all the way to where it's now dangling on the bottom. This is where it's going to get kind of messy. So I want to make sure I got my drip pan in place, which I believe is in the right spot. I don't know how much coolant is really left in here. I'm going to find out really quick. Before I do this, I should plug up the box just in case. Sorry. I don't want any water getting in the air filter box and then going into the mass airflow sensor. Like that. So we're just going to do that really quick. Put a towel in there, rags, whatever you got. See some water still left in the reservoir. Yep. So it's going to make a mess, which is to be expected. I put a towel down there with the drip pan. So there we go. Looks like some of the towel is missing as the water runs down the back into the car. Slow up the rate at which it flows. Alright, so while that's draining, let it drain for a little bit. I'll get back to you guys. Alright guys, so we got the water, and not water, coolant mixture drained out here. So we're going to go ahead and take the two bolts that hold the coolant reservoir off, pull it out, examine everything down there, and then we'll go from there. One thing I can say while doing this, and something I should have done beforehand, was get more drip cans and things to catch the coolant as it comes out. But lesson learned, another day, another dollar. I'll figure it out later. I'm going to have to definitely do some cleanup in the garage after this because there is coolant in a lot of places. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take these off. Should be 10 mils. Yep. Loosen them up. Now, one interesting tad bit about this car, don't really care if you want to know or not, but some of the bolts are painted, some aren't. I wonder if it's replacement bolts from a previous owner or repair that was done on the car at some point. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we'll see how everything looks. But yeah, seems like, oh, there's another hose clamp down here for, I think, an excess coolant drop off. Yep, this is pretty loose. Yeah, so this vehicle has a hose that runs from the coolant reservoir down straight to the floor or the ground. In case the coolant reservoir gets overfilled or something happens, it'll actually, instead of sending it back through and damaging the engine, it'll just send it right to the ground. I don't recommend dumping coolant anywhere in the ground. I don't recommend you do that because it's not good for the environment. But there we go. So yeah, that's off. That just kind of dangles there. Looks like it runs down to the body of the car. It's stuck to the frame. I believe there is something else holding the coolant reservoir. Yes, there is. There is a little bolt down there. So there's one down at the very base of this, the 10 mil. I'm going to loosen it up. Now I have an electric ratchet that'll make things a lot faster and easier to do. I don't really use it when working on this car, just because I don't want to break anything with the threads or put too much force behind it in case it gets like cross-threaded or jammed up. So I'd rather just do everything by hand. If I do use power tools, it's mainly on components I don't really have to worry about. When it comes to these components, because this is already really tight, and it should be not as tight as it is. Alright, looks like it's almost off. And get it by hand now. Alright, ooh, look at this washer. Washer's seen better days. Hardware, I kind of tuck it in this little cubby up here. It's as simple as that. And ooh, that's bad. I shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. Thankfully, there was a towel there before I poured all that in the air filter box. That's why you prepare for that. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get the rest of this coolant dumped out, and we'll show it to you over there in the corner of the garage. And I'll explain why I wanted to change this. Alright guys, so here's the coolant reservoir. It's faded and old, as you can tell. There's still some water sloshing around, or coolant sloshing around in it. It'd be alright. I'm gonna remove these little C-clips just in case the new unit, when it gets here on Wednesday, doesn't come with them. I can reinstall using these C-clips and the old hardware. But this is it. This is the reason why I wanted to replace it. So then more of it just came out. Can you tell me how much coolant I have in here? No, you can't see nothing through this anymore. It's that faded and old. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell. It's kind of dark, but you can see all the gunk that's just built up in here, and it's just not good. No matter how good you tried to clean this, it wouldn't solve the issue. It wouldn't go away. So yeah, we're gonna keep these C-clips. Put them right there beside you guys. But yeah, hopefully Wednesday we get the new one. Solid white, clear. That way you can actually see how much coolant's in the vehicle. Because I'll tell you right now, I have no clue how much coolant's actually in the vehicle. I know it's enough to keep it cool and it runs great and never overheats. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that, guys. It doesn't overheat or anything, so. But yeah, original to the car. See, it does say something weird on it. I need to look it up, what Geiger plastic is. It's spelled G-E-I-G-E-R, like Geiger counter. I don't know if that's just a technique they used back in the 80s to build plastic components or not. But yeah, she's seen better days. So we're gonna get rid of her for a new one that's coming in on Wednesday, and we'll just go from there. But we'll let this drain out overnight and let it dry, and then we'll put it on the shelf before we have coolant spilling over everything else. But yeah, pretty interesting, pretty cool. All right, guys, I just want to give you a little quick tour of what we just took out. So the coolant reservoir sat here with the 2 bolts holding it in, and then there's a 10 mil that sits on this post down here that was attached to everything. This is the line going into the radiator. This was the other line I was talking about that runs directly to the ground. Basically, if coolant was to overfill, it goes down the line and down into the car and just kind of leaks out onto the ground. But yeah, so I wanted to ask if you guys had any advice or not on something to repair these posts with, because without it, this just kind of moves around. It doesn't move around a lot, but the box itself isn't bolted anymore to this. Even this, I could actually just push this out and it'll come right off. There's supposed to be rubber grommets, these rubber grommets here that hold, I guess, the whole thing in place, but I guess after 34 years, it's just worn itself down. But yeah, so that's what we did today. That's where we are currently with it. I'm going to do some more cleaning and more drying off and fixing things, and then we'll take a look at some other stuff that we're going to be doing as well. Alright guys, so that's the video for today. Like I said, it's going to be a 2-part video, so I'll have the other part up once the other parts get in, and then I'll make a video for that and go over that. But that's really all we're going to be doing. It's just replacing the reservoir. We're going to burp the system once the reservoir comes in, and we'll get all the air that I put in the system currently out. And then we'll drive it around and we'll take it for a test drive and we'll see how well she runs after that. Plus, it'll be interesting to see how much coolant actually gets used while driving, if any at all does get used, because there doesn't seem to be a coolant leak anywhere in the car. So, but we'll see. Well, going forward, I just want to say thank you guys for the support you guys have shown me. You guys have been great, giving me advice and stuff like that. And yeah, just continue to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends or whoever you think would be interested in it. Another thing too, what do you guys want to see? I know there was somebody asking whether or not I was willing to do like a live stream with the car and basically work on the car live or answer questions about the car or giving some automotive advice as well. I do have a degree in automotive technology, so I'm more than capable of giving advice on cars. I can't diagnose your car virtually, but I can give you advice on what you should do. But yeah, moving forward, I think we're going to get better. I'm going to get better at this, get better especially with recordings. I hate having you guys all over there. So we'll see in the future whether or not you guys move closer to me and you guys get on like a stand or something. But yeah, I'm currently looking for one of those right now. But yeah, that's the video for today, guys. I'm going to leave all my tools in the little well up here. Car's not going anywhere now without a reservoir. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and like and subscribe and give me some words of wisdom that you got for me. Thank you.